Welcome back, everyone, to another story. We really hope you enjoy. As a part-time software tester, I had tested hundreds of apps over the years. It was a hobby more than anything else, something I do on the side for a little bit of extra cash. There's this exclusive testing platform I'm part of, where indie developers put out their apps to be tested by people like me. Most of them are boring. Budget trackers, fitness gimmicks, productivity nonsense. But every now and then I'd stumble on something interesting. Or at least, weird enough to keep me entertained for an hour or two. That's exactly what I thought when I saw the listing for an app called Swap IR. The payout was surprisingly generous, $80 just for an hour of testing. The description was vague, something about identity, reflection, and biometric illusion, whatever that meant. I figured it was probably just another gender swap camera filter or augmented reality face morphing tool. Those were everywhere now. So I accepted the test, downloaded Swap IR, and fired it up while sitting in my home office. It opened to a sleek, minimalistic interface. There were a few basic features, simple image tweaks and filters, with one experimental option tucked at the bottom that stood out from the rest. That one caught my eye. The first two were exactly what I expected. Filters, basically. You take a picture and it morphs your face into something else. It wasn't anything special. I had seen variations of the feature done hundreds of other times. But the last option felt different. Not just another filter or effect, but something more experimental, more ambitious. The feature was advertised as a full body swap experience, something that would, according to the blurb, allow two people to switch forms. It claimed to use biometric data in real time, which sounded impressive. I assumed it would just mash up our faces somehow, maybe animate them, or do something flashy. The app walked me through it using text on my screen. Basically, you took a photo of yourself, then a photo of someone else. Both people had to be nearby, and once you confirmed, it promised some kind of body swap simulation. It threw around a bunch of technical jargon and honestly just sounded like another flashy gimmick. Still, curiosity got the better of me. I took a selfie right there at my desk, then stood up and went to find my girlfriend Ella. She was lounging on the couch, watching some reality TV show, completely engrossed. I leaned over the back of the sofa and asked her to pose for a quick picture. "Why?" she asked, glancing up at me. "It's for an app I'm testing." "Just need a quick photo," I said casually. She rolled her eyes but gave a small smile. "Fine. But if you post it anywhere, I won't be happy." I chuckled, lifted the phone, and snapped the picture. The moment I hit confirm on the app, my screen flashed white, bright enough to force my eyes shut. "Whoa, what the hell?" I started to say, but my voice sounded off. When I opened my eyes, the room looked the same, but my body felt completely different. Way too different. My center of gravity had shifted. I felt lighter in some places, heavier in others, like my body had been rebalanced in a way I didn't understand. My limbs felt slimmer, shorter, almost delicate. My skin also felt different, softer, more sensitive. I could feel the fabric of my hoodie in a way I never had before. It clung in weird places and hung loose in others. I looked down and froze. My waist was narrower and my frame more compact. My hips curved outward more than I was used to, and even my hands looked unfamiliar. This wasn't my body. The shape, the posture, even the way the clothes fit, it was all wrong in a way that was unmistakably familiar. "Oh my God," I whispered. "I'm in my girlfriend's body." I stumbled back a step, catching my reflection in the TV screen. It was faint, but there was no denying what I saw. That wasn't my face. That was Ella's. Then I turned and saw my own body standing a few feet away. My own face. staring back at me with wide eyes and a pale, stunned expression. My body, the one I'd lived in for 25 years, just standing there like a stranger. "Jake?" my body asked. I blinked. "Ella?" We both just stood there. "What the hell did you do?" she asked, stepping toward me, her eyes wide with panic. "Why do I sound like you? Why am I in your body?" I think, I stammered, holding up the phone with trembling hands. "I think the app probably did it." Her expression twisted with confusion. "Did what?" "Swapped us," I said, breathless. "I mean, body swapped us. Like, completely." She stared at me for a beat, her jaw slowly falling open. "There's no way. This is a joke, right?" "I swear to God it's not. I thought it was just a dumb filter thing. I didn't think it would actually swap our bodies." She looked down at herself, eyes scanning her new form, and her breath hitched. "I can't believe it," she whispered. The next 10 minutes were chaos. Ella, inside my body, was pacing, freaking out. I tried to calm her down, explaining the app, what I'd done, that it was supposed to just be some dumb filter. "You didn't think to read the reviews or check anything?" she shouted, gesturing at her face. "This isn't a filter, Jake. This is my body. You put me in your body." I know, I said, running my new hands through my now long hair. "It was just a test." I didn't think it was real, but it must have actually worked. She looked like she was about to explode. I held up my hands. "Okay, let's just fix it. I'll open the app and reverse it." I reached for the phone and tapped the screen awake. I expected to see the app, right there on the screen, ready to undo everything. Some part of me was sure it would still be there, but there was nothing. No icon, no trace. Just a blank space where it should have been. I stared at the screen, blinking, hoping it would magically reappear if I waited long enough. But it didn't. The Swap IR app was gone. I blinked, swiped back and forth, searched for the name. Nothing. I opened the tester platform. The job listing, the developer page, gone. Like it had never existed. I stared at the phone, my chest rising and falling faster now. It's gone." Ella narrowed her eyes. "What do you mean gone?" "I mean it's not here. Like, not on the phone. Not in the test app store. I don't even have a record of downloading it." "You've got to be kidding me," Ella said. Over the next few hours, we both tried everything. Searching through cache folders, forums, support contacts, old downloads, anything that might help. Nothing worked. By the end of the night, we sat on opposite sides of the couch. I was still in her body and she was in mine. Neither of us had any idea how to switch back. The days that followed weren't any easier. Ella refused to leave the apartment, and I couldn't exactly blame her. Every time I walked past a mirror, I had to stop myself from flinching. Seeing her face staring back at me was so incredibly disorienting. We tried reaching out to the beta testing platform. No one responded. It was like the app and its developers had vanished into thin air. I kept trying. I'd stay up late on my laptop, browsing obscure subreddits and old tech forums, hoping someone else had used Swap IR and could offer a solution. But every time I thought I found a lead, it turned out to be something different. 2 weeks passed, then 3. At some point, we both just stopped talking about it. Ella started wearing my old clothes, baggy hoodies, joggers. I started adapting to her clothes too, mostly just out of necessity. And even though I hated to admit it, some of them were actually really comfortable. But that didn't make any of it okay. One night, we were sitting in silence when she finally said it. "I don't think we're going to swap back. Do you?" I hesitated, then nodded. "I've tried everything," I responded. She let out a long sigh. So what do we do now? I looked at her and didn't know how to answer. We didn't have a plan. We just kept living. By week 5, we were going out again. People had started calling me Ella and calling her Jake. It was surreal. But the more it happened, the less we corrected them. I caught myself in the mirror one morning, barefaced, wet hair, wearing one of Ella's cardigans. And for the first time, I didn't look away. It was still weird, but I was starting to get used to it. Some part of me still believed the app would come back, that I'd wake up to a notification, or someone would knock on the door and say it had all been a test. But months passed, and nothing changed. We never found the app, never heard from the developers, and eventually we stopped looking. I don't know how to describe what came after that. We never really talked about how we felt, not deeply, but we adjusted. Maybe because we had no other choice. Some mornings I'd wake up and forget what I used to look like. Other times I'd stare at my reflection and feel like I was wearing someone else's life. We still don't know how or why this all happened. But every time I open a new app on my phone now, I hesitate. I think about that 1 second, that one careless moment that flipped our lives upside down. And how, in the blink of an eye, our lives had changed forever. Thanks for watching this video. More videos will be coming very soon. If you enjoyed this story, you'll love the story shown on screen or another one from our playlist. Before you go, remember to check out our new Patreon page for more stories, polls, and community chats with me. There is more info in the pinned comment and description. Thanks for watching.